hands, feet, sweeping, in flux towards penis, over languid nerves of throat, wrists, buttocks, thighs, vertebrae of boy's neck curved upwards, touching, tremulous, those of convex neck of woman, chins touching, throbbing, boy lifting woman's rump on his forearms, jism bursting in glands, balls sticking gluey to fleshy flap under cunt, woman's whole body shuddering, boy mouth opening, breath hot with expulsion of jism, pressing breasts, hardened by flicking of tongues against his torso, elbows pushing back around outer curves of breasts, interlacing fingers under woman's nape, lifting languid body, threads of jism rubbing at suspensory ligaments of balls, trailing the mouth softened by spasm over woman's dilated muzzle, filaments of spittle crossing under lips, from cheek to lip, from chin to nostrils, boy's buttocks cooling under woman's hams, boy hitching shivering torso, sobs muted, penis pulling at cunt over tepid breasts, hams collapsing onto sand, acne pock-marked neck rubbed on rough coat of camel's throat, hands swollen with blood scratching bare buttocks, scraps of flowery silk stuck by jism onto side of arse, onto livid epidermis, boy's right eye throbbing jism expelled, left eye veiled red, corner of eyelid exuding pink sweat, woman advancing curved thumb, gathering thread of salty sweat on nail, lifting thumb to lips, sweat thread dried in wind trembling over downy hairs at top of cheek, nail detaching thread from corner of eye, penis jerking, cunt sheaving shaft up to balls, woman chewing threads, right breast swept by fleece of boy's left armpit, hardening, retracted in wind, boy's torso pressing left, breast tugging, twisting, flattening, nipple exuding sweat of sour milk, boy sticky pubis plugging viscous pubis of woman, heaving afresh, fingers pulling at locks over occiput, baby drooling on his left forearm, he-goat biting left arm, orgasm contracting muscles, tendons, fresh breath exhaled from between woman's dried lips, bathing bloodshot forehead, frontal fingers of twisted locks modulating breath, boy's teeth nibbling at corner of woman's lips, cunt ejecting crumpled penis, thrusting loins, woman rolling penis against inside of thigh, he-goat licking chilled salty sweat on right side of boy's face, boy's fingers slipped into woman's slimy hair, rubbing at embalmed scalp, nails scraping at crusts of dried milk, dried fard, jism, foam seething at corner of lips, creased by smile of woman, on support formed by elbows adjoined, boy dropping grimy head, heavy to muscles worn out by erection, woman's lips pressing, ringed in middle of patch by smooth skin, over vertebrae of his raised neck, boy's saliva flowing over side of cheek, dripping over jutting jaw, onto throat, mixing with foam, frothing at corner of woman's lips, boy's torso, hollowed by raising of head, oscillating over breast, woman rolling head to one side, boy pecking at eyelashes, smoothing lashes between lips, tears purling darkened by coal, Boy rubbing lips against trickles of coal over temples. Penis striking, slimy, cold, inside of woman's thigh. Glands mixing with curls, crushed by weight of boy's pelvis. Boy lifting loins. Jism jarring blood in penis. Lifting torso. Kneeling. Falling back over loins. Eyes scrutinizing Venus incandescent. Massed on rocky outcrop. Goats, farting, breath clouding flint. Boy standing upright, stretching arms. Hams stepping over woman's body, springing forth. Heels striking sand. Penis shaken, dripping over knee. Cloth flapping over whole body. In wind, nomad rushing at Ackley from behind. Wrapping loins, navel in folds of Jabala. Setting cheek rounded by laughter against shepherd's pock-marked ear, rubbing raised knee covered in warm cloth against Ackley's scaly hip, pulling, scratching at skin of breasts with fingers, numbed in woman's windswept hair, with oval nails, dropping open, hand over belly, pubis, penis sheathed in rag, index, thumb ringed, squeezing glands, little finger catching moist balls pulled out of rag. Ackley bending knees, burying pock-marked shoulders into cloth. Pit of nomad's collarbones, exhaling vapour embalmed with milk. With coal, nomad's elbows digging into bottom of Ackley's torso, choking, muted, skull covered with dead locks, exuding infected sweat under nomad's bridled lips. Ackley squeezing thighs around boy's fingers, busy kneading into sweaty seam of right groin. Woman standing, baby slumping over her shoulder, his head, his bust bobbing over her back, walking, Docala crumpled wet, crinkling in gusts of wind, through pink cloth stuck with jism to bulging pubis, skin shining ochre, iridescent in moonlight. Boy pushing feet of shepherd, penis stiffening against his wrist, into sand, under his furious heels, rough horny skin scraping, bursting boils on ankles nomad seized by fit of coughing, spitting clot onto Ackley's downy neck, sneezing, blowing snot onto clot, pressing right side of purple face against shoulder of Ackley. Woman pulling baby's foot out of neckline of Docala, pressing foot against boy's back. Slimy muzzle turning, boy laughing, scrutinizing breasts, eyes burning under encrusted lashes, toes trampling on sand over Ackley's purulent ankles, fingers hooked over shepherd's shoulders pulsating sweaty, snotty clot dripping down Ackley's back, rolling over coccyx, crouching, boy pressing sand-felled fist over clot, fat of buttocks quivering under trickle of sand, boy standing, rubbing sand, free fist grasping Ackley's neck, all over sand trickling bloody, crouching back down, burying soiled fist into sand, woman leaning forwards, smoothing swinging locks, boy throwing back head, woman's fingers digging into his curved neck, vertebrae undulating with surge of saliva, boy taking, lifting her fingers to his lips, kissing small square nails, cunt throbbing, half opening, under cloth stuck close, gust of wind biting at beaten loins, boy spinning on heels, hugging woman's loins, pressing lips against pubis, licking cloth, tongue covering, lower down, spongy swelling of fleece, flattening under fat lips, tip of tongue probing right to fleshy rim of cunt, woman pressing inside of thigh against boy's cheek, oily wet seed streaming over knee, foam frothing at corner of lips smudged with coal, gust of wet wind tampering series of short farts exhaled from arse of baby dozing, boy lifting up to Carlo with both hands, burying head, chilled tensed by gathering frost, underneath, Woman pulling back, springing forth, running towards shelter. Boy crouching, interlacing fingers over parts of skull, neck, shoulders warmed by hot vapours from underparts of woman. Standing up, baby buried under skeins of red wool. Woman bent down, folding up stiffened skins. Sweat caught, powdered in cracks of leather. Flinging skins onto female camels kneeling. Gathering bottles, bags, boxes, stuffing all into packs. Tying packs back onto camels. Boy, forehead bound in veil with medal dangling, pulling up poles, sculptured post, springing forth, skipping, poles brandished, stuck into sand, breathless, tying poles under camels' bellies, gust of wind driving back, lifting up sand against gathering darkness. Rain carried in columns from beneath quickened throbbing of Venus, splashing, icy. Boy pushing woman under shelter. Walls soaked by streams of warmed water from folds of clothing tangled over breasts. Bleeding red onto body of baby dozing under arch. Jewels tinkling against metal, of two torsos touching. Acne, abscesses riddled by driving rain. Digging on knees into sand, beneath belly of female camel. Pock-marked arms trembling, drained of blood, in saturated sand. Monkey whining, arms drooping, softened, knotted around neck, muzzle bloody, member erect, eyes scrutinizing Venus veiled in violet vapours, trampling on beheaded vipers, grease exuded from grass bung, setting hard, vortex veering back to Venus.
Breathing in long draughts, breath sweeping, cool over trace of jism on whore's back, knee of dark worker striking shoulder, wazard unclenching teeth, fingers taking pitted penis, pressing shaft down towards mouth, caressing curve with palm of hand, opening mouth, wedging penis amongst deposits of vomit. Laughter stifled, quick, puffing through nostrils, penis rolling in cheek, wazzock sucking, dark worker touching with fingertips, cheek swollen by penis, tensing legs, removing hand, whore, saliva swallowed, palpitating penis through vermilion epidermis of cheek, shaved worker crouching, rubbing veins, skull on shoulders of whore, squeezing neck between soiled fingers, settling skull against nape, wiping squashed nostrils against fleshy folds on neck, snot mixing with jism, shaved worker standing up, tip of espadrille smearing jism, snot through downy curls, crouching, sitting in sand, spreading thighs, bringing sand back over sexual cluster, pulled sticky from thigh, pouring sand inside thigh, leaning back against trunk, dozing, penis hardening inside wazzock's cheek, jism spurting, shaking, filling cheek, wazzock pulling penis out, rinsing mouth with jism, dark worker squatting, sitting down in saturated sound, stretching out on side, propped up on elbow, pushing wazag along onto back, pouring sand onto nipples, sand running between fingers, wrinkled in embraces, sprinkling tiny cones of sand over middle of torso, down to navel, whore immobile, body insonorious, scrutinizing blue fire, sand running into fold of groin, dark worker spreading sand over breast, uncovering nipples, settling lips around teats, hair heavy with smell of bugs, fluff of down, caught in blood, sucked cuts on scalp, stuffed against throat of whore, his penis upturned, striking belly, covered by dark worker's hand, swinging between doorsteps at edge of garden, blonde driller hitched naked onto shoulders of club foot, frizzy driller, penis ejaculating, packing club foot's head onto one leg of shorts, laughing, striping, bagged head, his bandages staining curls on chapped neck of youth, his farts rippling over downing hairs of shoulder blades, flick of hamstring, flowing, throwing club foot off balance, grabbing empty leg of shorts, guiding blind head, rough, in rush across hot sand, youth lurching, following each movement of head. In corner of garden, frizzy worker, penis rigid, pressing back of slumping body, cornering, buggering, clubfoot, head of youth buried in front between smooth buttocks of blonde worker, pink pissade crumbling under, furious fingernails of blonde, regular rubbing of frizzy worker's jeans on clubfoot's buttocks, irritating blonde rising onto youth's shoulders, spreading arse, closing buttocks around face of frizzy worker, contracted in erection, hands covering bagged face of clubfoot, squashing palpitations, rippling thin khaki cloth, eyes, veins, lips, clubfoot choking, worker spitting into open hands, sliding, dripping hand over lips of youth, heels striking groin of youth, lifting, opening thigh, pissing, frizzy worker, hands plastered against clubfoot's belly, detecting heat of bladder, flinging one wrinkled hand onto penis, shaken by stream, grabbing, squeezing member, youth, torso, sighing, drawing urine back into bladder, whereupon frizzy worker removing hand, enveloping heel of blonde, heaving, holding, heel tight, sweat from hand, bathing, heated by erection, jarred rope of estradiol, blonde worker's penis again hardening, curved over clubfoot's scabby head, ejaculation, opening mouth of frizzy worker, buried in buttocks of blonde, relaxing legs resting against legs of youth, sweet sweat, rapid, cooling on pale skin, finger slipped under root of member, lifting, rag stuck to arse, throbbing, expelling pink vomit splashing under buttocks of blonde, face drawn away, landing on clubfoot's rump, sweaty, fuzzy head jammed against back of youth, beneath blonde's buttocks throat, cheeks shaken, more hot vomit, burning lips, bursting over youth's rump, enrobing mould of buttocks, dripping down sides, sliding along legs, down to feet pinned on ground by weight of blonde worker, trampling vomit into sand, blonde rolling, pulling, clubfoot's hair, smoothing, sweaty strands between fingers, detaching curls, caught in pus from abscess, head of clubfoot shuddering between thighs, blonde head of frizzy worker, vomit disgorged, throbbing under buttocks, rolling shiny penis in empty leg of shorts, wiping member of cloth, stiffening legs before clubfoot's torso, falling backwards again, squeezing neck of youth between thighs, knees, briggling jaw, pulling at balls caught above ischium against nape, spreading balls back over groin, throwing punches into right loin of youth, turning with small steps, frizzy worker vomiting, crushed fingernails, hooked into loins, blonde worker pressing fists against skirting boarding corner, frizzy worker pressing buttocks into angle, breathing in long drafts, vomit driven back into nostrils, elbows of blonde propped on skull of frizzy worker, thrown backwards by knee, jerked up against jaw, pulling bottom of face out of bag as far as upper lip, pulling mouth to right, presenting penis for clubfoot to suck, foot of youth straying, staying, rooted in sand, trunk twisting, torso twisted, buttocks rolling against rag of frizzy workers bandage, blonde extending thighs, buttocks contracting onto club's foot, clavicles pressing nape against frizzy worker's skull, club foot raising arms, joining hands on shoulder, horny fingers gathering, lifting penis to mouth, balls of blonde lying over creased neck, spreading onto top of chest, lips of club foot holding glands, fingers pumping shaft, sweating, advancing in folds of groin, jism flooding club foot's mouth, nostrils palpitating inside shorts, blonde worker rubbing nape, temples, face against soiled lips of frizzy worker, club foot chewing on jism, softened penis dripping over tip of breast, filament stretching down to nipple under torn flaps of singlet, chest burning, two drillers pressing mouths together, sweat rushing into junctions of triangle, joined lips of drillers, member of blonde, again forcing clubfoot's teeth, hardening member of frizzy worker, scrap of cloth distended, touching depths of clubfoot's arse, seam of shorts slid down over sweat, brittling upon lip of youth, buttocks of blonde lifted over clavicles by stiffening of legs, pulling away from scaly skin of upper back, laughter shaking cheeks of drillers, tongues rubbing together inside mouths, outside lips, muscles, tendons, nerves, bones of blonde's left leg shuddering against clubfoot's jaw, muffled laughter shaking blonde worker's torso, belly right down to stiffened member, lips pumped incessantly by clubfoot purring, muted, sweat soaking, shorts over position of nostril, ridge of nose, eyebrow, frizzy worker spitting vomit, bathed in mucus drawn from cheeks, level with lips of blonde, pressing feet together, overlapped in erection, mouth purring, moaning, members ejaculating, legs relaxing, folding, heels, toes, rolling over clubfoot's member, spurts, splashing, face bound in shorts, mouth of youth swollen, seeking glands, member again hardening, red bitch inside brothel, licking freshest trace of jism, on tiling, on wooden floor of saloon, in corner, downy plumes of vulture stuck in deposits, diving into passage, licking flow of jism, of shit, of vomit, up under closed doors of latrines, springing out into garden, lapping up trails of jism on sand, panting, sniffing air, coming up to legs of clubfoot, sniffing at sexual cluster, spreading flies, spreading hairy arse against upper thigh of youth, clubfoot, upper lips squeezed back under arms, under sticky hair. Hands raised from shoulders, groping at rump of bitch, squashing glands against blocked arse, head beating in jaw, pressed by blonde driller's knee, frizzy driller's jism burning arse, tears veiling iris over hair, over back, of dark driller propped on elbows against torso, snorting, clearing nostrils, elbows sliding over back of torso, snotty fingers gathering whores, penis, balls, lifting organs, rolled, stretched, smooth beneath fingernails, eyes scrutinizing veins, venules, pores, moistened nails scraping at dirt, was a scrutinizing naked limbs of women dozing, clubfoot's member grafted into arse of red bitch, sandy tufts of tail whipping loin of youth, fat of slump buttocks of blonde, brushing over frizzy worker's thigh, hugged in jeans, frizzy worker thrusting hands onto clubfoot's belly, tips of fingers, thumb, pumping at root of clubfoot's member, pressed by arse or bitch, youth closing, bandaged eyes, frizzy worker wiping jismy knuckles on curls of sweaty face, coat, blonde worker kissing between sole flaps of denim jacket, vomit flying from corner of frizzy worker's lips down to bottom of throat, aspiring perfume and gorged throat, vomiting on vomit, teeth nibbling solid emissions, gluey lips roll back adhering to neck of frizzy worker, slapping over rippling muscles, last filament oozing from frizzy worker's glands, pressed onto clubfoot's arse with one flick of thumb, frizzy worker pulling glands of clubfoot away from arse of bitch, squeezing member in fist, twisting shaft, lifting left leg, member, ball, stretch, thrusting leg into flank of bitch, clubfoot rolling, member of blonde in cheek, swallowing chewed jism, rolling o member, swallowed with jism, swollen with jism, against side of thigh, to point of ejaculation, member shaken, juice splashing leg, seething in glands, bitch, shoved aside, rising, coming to lip jism from leg, muscles smitten by frizzy worker's heel, hand of frizzy worker slapping clubfoot's belly, mouth panting over hair of blonde, vomit streaming down into opening of jeans, bandaged fuming, bitch, jism lapping up, springing for replete, jumping over trellis, slipping between bodies, breathing sweat of women, sprawling beside heads joined, keeping one's eye fixed on sexual cluster of blindfold youth, distant, veiled quick by thrust of hand, coated in sand of frizzy worker again, buggering arse, dropping down, drowsy onto shaded sand, blonde breathing in time, with frizzy worker's jerky breath, with sigh of orgasm, with ejaculation at acute expulsion of filaments, clubfoot, torso seething, dropping onto knees, blonde collapsing over frizzy worker, uncoupled, clubfoot sliding neck out from between swinging legs, unyoking, arising, limping over to body of Wazag, shaking bagged head, dark worker, releasing Wazag's sexual cluster, grabbing empty leg of short, pulling his head of clubfoot, kissing mouth, pushing back head backwards, behind, over nape, hands, empty leg of short, grabbing Wazag by hair, bagging head in empty leg, down to edge of upper lip, two whores crouching back to mouth, back to back, moving over sand, heavy rumps rubbing together, jamming arse to arse, wrist flailing before mouths, saliva frothing at corners of brittled lips, farts mixing underneath, through curls of arse, dark worker standing, wiping sand from lenses, stretching, pulling up jeans, slip down, spreading just me fingers, wiping fingers on buttocks, flesh proliferating under worn denim, blonde worker, frizzy worker, vomiting, walking, bodies apart, fingers interlaced, kneeling before dark worker, shaping tamarisk, waking, shaved worker, belching, grabbing fly of shorts, stretched between two heads, standing whores upright side by side, Wazag pointing forwards, clubfoot backwards, lifting leg of blonde worker, overturned on sand, pressing legs into Wazag's hands, lifting legs of frizzy worker, overturned, penis ejaculating on sand, pressing legs into clubfoot's fist, toes curled back against belly of youth, whore stirring, clubfoot bowing head, Wazag throwing head back, clubfoot advancing, Wazag reversing, Wazag squeezing, blonde worker's feet pressed against belly, clubfoot pressing feet of frizzy worker onto hips, heels of blonde rolling around Wazag's member, heels of frizzy worker digging into blonde foot's loins, two drillers dragged over sand, spreading thighs, sand packed into armpits, dark worker holding shaved worker's shoulders, buttocks, pushing body backwards onto sand, behind frizzy worker, dragged forward, sliding feet of former, up armpits of latter, frizzy worker, pressing arms over tarsus, dark driller, straddling blonde, crouching, impaling arse, jeans pulled down to knees onto penis erect, with violet blood of naked worker falling backwards onto wheeled trunk, slapping feet onto Wazag's thighs, searching for Pectinius with flat of heel, pressing, Wazag stirring, sweaty wrist pulling at feet of blonde, clubfoot leaning back, arching loins, frizzy worker, flinging sand over youth's raised rumps, slumping bodies, sliding in sand, Arms of drip blonde worker, balls tickled by burning sand, squeezing torso of dark worker, arching loins, stiffening legs, foot hardening in Wasek's fist. Dark worker, shifting buttocks, in arse, member of blonde, nipped, swelling afresh, held snug, expelling rest of jism, aroused under fingers between lips of club foot, shaved worker, feet caught under frizzy worker's armpits, again dozing, cheeks sliding over sand called by shadow of harnessed horse, buttocks of club foot, fuming, sweaty, frizzy worker sucking big toe of shaved worker through espadrille heated by heat, whores dragging body around tamarisk alongside pink pissay crumbling bodies, dragged sliding in sand, charged with jism, with shit, dried fresh, in shadow thrown by cage of rabbits, throbbing, sweaty, members stirring, blooming, pubis inflamed, fire piercing film of jism, beaten into shaft, glands fuming, grime flowing of Wasek's body, in sweat oozing from between eyelids of clubfoot level with hem binding upper lip, flowing along fold of cheek, dripping onto chin, ripped rings of grime, dust, shit, jism, blood melting around Wasek's glands, frizzy workers, tongue protruding from mouth, steaming, plastered cool onto glowing cheek, tufted ringlets at Wasek's hair, waving out of legs of shorts, glimmering, sweat of fingers, moistening silky cloth on stretched shorts in fibroid patches, club foot bowed down tugging, sweating from scalp, pus of abscesses, bridled over occiput, cloth transpierced, scintillating, sweat of rumps streaming over cockets, blonde worker's member running dry, retraction in dark worker's arse, member of dark worker softened, sticking, arched over bottom hem of thigh, onto seam of crutch, frizzy worker, torso stripped bare by sliding over sand, jeans pulled back up to navel, open to nil penis, rolled back onto flap of fly, perspiring armpits, pressing feet of shaved worker, fire closing mouth, half opened in sleep, glands dried in nauseous fits, Wasek's member, concealed head fuming, darting rigid, shadow entering mouth of dark worker, falling towards corner of lips of blonde, glands twinkling, chops scintillating, pubic fleece opening stretched, clubfoot heavy arched member bouncing back with extension of legs sprouting from slumped pubis, shadow of inclined torso covering member, blonde blooming blood in glands thrust forward out of shadow, seething jism, shining through rosy membrane, whore's halting body before entrance into passage, whoremaster returned downstairs, crouching, touching, dozing bodies, palpitating pectinias, sliding thumb under arch of drooping penis, pressing penis back against bottom of belly, groping at gluey balls, at groin, powdered jism running in fold, arising, pointing, Wasek's head towards trellis, wiping fingers on clubfoot's buttocks, horse turning, sniffing back snot spread under cloth, from grimy nostrils down to rim of upper lips, moving forward, purring, muted under heated cloth, raucous under sweaty skin of neck, feet touching trellis, unyoking, throwing back bagged heads, seeing disc of fire through damp cloth, swallowing air, wafting filtered through balmy branches, whoremaster tugging at cloth, binding heads, tossing shorts onto blonde driller's belly, Wasek drilling shoulders of blonde, hitching body up onto trellis, whoremaster rummaging in shorts, throwing shorts back onto throat of blonde, lifting driller's head, pulling smooth-lobed ears out from beneath blonde ringlets, folding back lobes, sliding fingers around neck, searching over rest of body, armpits, mouth, sexual cluster, arse, toes, fingers groping up over belly, tearing off bandaged pad with movements of breathing, encrusted wound, expelling drops of ochre blood, Wasek slapping hand over rectangle of immaculate flesh, whoremaster striking hand, bandage clenched in fist, master tipping blonde body over trellis, Wasek hitching shade worker up, whoremaster rummaging in jeans, pulling out gluey coins, rummaging in denim jacket, pulling out lighter, wrapping all in bandage, tipping body over onto body of blonde, was a hitching dark worker up, whoremaster, removing sunglasses, propping glasses on own nose, unwrapping bandages, sticking plaster against own belly, stuffing coins, lighter, into open pocket of bandage, pushing body over onto cross bodies of shaved worker, blonde worker, was a hitching up, frizzy driller, violet eyes rolling, veiled, rolling back, whoremaster pulling from sticky pockets, coins, handkerchief, sugar lump, dirty pants, English notebook with nude photos, packing all under bandage, tipping lumpish young body over trellis, clubfoot sizzling away, club whoremaster grabbing penis, drawing youth close, kneeling, sliding finger under rigid penis, fingernail scraping at charred pubic fleece, thumb delving into arse, scraping at charred public pubic fleece, thumb delving into arse contracted, standing, both hands palpitating loins, belly, torso, arms, opened hands, throat, jaw, wrenching teeth apart, grasping rosy tongue, thick, pitted, pulling at tongue, tapping teeth, sliding finger into jismy gullet, pulling slimy wrist out of mouth again, seizing member, standing behind body, palpitating shoulders, arms, neck, massaging buttocks, hams, dropping member, two sticky hands, spreading buttocks, bathed in steam, drawing eyes, lips towards hot mulch tangle, blowing, pushing back stray member, arising, blocking head between both hands, separating curls stuck together, scrutinizing veins, venules of skull, stepping back, plaster in front of intact body against buckle front of body of clubfoot, palpitating muscles squeezing, hand tickling patch of pubis exposed by burning of fleece, pulling away from embraces, stepping over trellis, crouching, pulling shaved worker's leg from under heat body of frizzy worker, dark worker, sliding hand into pocket of jeans, pulling out handkerchief spotted with blood, stuffing handkerchief into pocket under bandage, shuffling hands, stroking skin, alongside leg down to mouth, removing espadrille, crouching down, buttocks creased by straw of matches touching sand, slipping a kneeled espadrille onto own foot, arising again, straggling trellis, was it shadow of pimp shading legs, raising arms, opening mouth, spreading thighs, bent forward, loins arched, spreading buttocks, swinging head, earrings, coral ringing, shining, shaking free, outer greasy ringlet, whoremaster sliding, same sticky hand between lips, under armpits, under open palms, under sexual cluster, between buttocks, again feeling teeth between dried lips of whore, two whores crouching in sand beside trellis, members re-hardened, rigid at sound of women stirring, clothes rustling, aroused by passage of whoremaster's body, embalmed, intact, spurring sand, cooled by shadow of bodies, whoremaster beyond trellis, climbing up, low dune on sandy slope, sharp branches, half-shaping bodies, curly-haired worker, penis pinched in vulva of shaved girl, half buried in sand by movement, by heavy heaving, ejaculating fingers gripping mottled skull, kissing skull pressed into his mouth spread, panting, whoremaster squatting, sliding fingers into back pocket of jeans, against, through, stretched heated denim, effervescent arse, sweating, pulled out, tattered banknote, folding, wrapping note in shaved worker's body, handkerchief, hand slipping under worker's groin, hip of shaved girl, pressing palm, delving in streaming sweat into front pocket of jeans, against knuckles, through slimy cloth, beaten member, heating, quivering, fingers pinched into second note, patched with band-aid, pulling sticky payslip against girl's hip, pimp taking, tucking banknote under bandage, stuffing bank slip into pocket, pulling slip back out, unfolding, scrutinising figures, letters, arising, climbing back up June, paisley clasping fingers, his shadow, his perfume, arousing hearts of women, thighs spreading under cloth of robes, whoremaster stepping over trellis, bent over wazag, sticking paisley onto jism-smeared neck, whore rising up on bruised heels, throwing head sideways, scrutinising paisley, level with cheek, rolled around neck, held horizontal, whoremaster stepping over white body of clubfoot fallen back onto sand, bloody nausea, swelling mouth, burnt under fur of jism-bine, blue fire, master bowing nape under shadow of passage, square up, fading into penumbra, powdered with saltpetre, undulating, massaged by fingers pulled out of cotton line pouch, containing workers' coins, slimy with soiled pants of driller, frizzy driller, was circling around Tamariz, kissing, seams of lips annealed by kisses, pay-slipped, rolled onto finger, rolling slip around rigid shaft of member, around base, around glands, lifting slip in front of eyes, clear, hard eyes, scrutinising letters, figures, signs in red, fingers, following inscriptions, stroking, following lines, curves, jumping from dot to dot, from dot to comma, from hyphen to cipher, from cipher to letter, from uppercase to lower, from cipher to dot, foot trampling over cheek of club foot, rolling pace lip around jismy neck, pressing thumb against paper, swallowing saliva, slip waving, brushing over, plalisma, bowing head, folds of flesh rolling over sticky slip, club foot, knees raised, letting crushed thigh open out slow, wiping away jism, drying over eyelashes, snorting jism out of nostrils, fresh stench of what's his body, limbs spread, falling over club foot, what's it walking, penis ball swung heavy between thighs towards shed, bending down, entering, delving amongst straw, hay, picking up supple barley stalk, dried golden piercing corner of payslip, threading stalk through hole, tying slip around neck, curly driller's jism, drying, crackling in hay, Wazak kneeling, pressing it down into disturbed dust, flicking tongue onto crackling droplets, licking fresh filaments, suspending on stalks near damp ground, filaments transformed into traces of powder, into layer near surface, squatting mixture of jism, sweat, blood streaming out of arse, open between smooth sides of butter, scorching membrane, one hand thrust over rump, scraping slit of arse, moaning, sweat, run down from root of ringlets over forehead, stinging eyes, wrinkles rolling, wazak arising, fold of groin, opening, slimy member, catching dust, paislip quivering over breast, clubfoot on horny knees, loin arch fastened beneath fiery rays, crawling towards Tamariz, rubbing itchy arse, spread open against trunk, was he emerging from ched, chin pointing payslip onto throat, licking paper, hot mixture oozing from arse down onto legs, beyond trellis, heaped bodies of drillers, women again slumping back drowsy, bitch licking scalps fuming, blue gangers flying up under shepherd's feet, swirling in odours of abscesses hollowed by flint, beaks buzzing, nests throbbing beneath a keb, waterlogged down of breasts, skimming over shepherd's hams, sand mixing into laterite, pink under levelling fire, fire off grassy, backwards frothing yellow, two white camels grazing, male, female, violet flanks plastered with human excreta, close by, under shelter of skins mounted onto two thorny poles, a woman, young, epidermis ochre mauve, wrapped in violet cloth, fire vaporizing last traces of perfume, sleeping, baby dozing, tucked into hollow of bare armpit, hair uncovered, mixed with sand, greasy, blue, woman breathing, inside robe, reinforced over breast with rectangles of sackcloth sewn with black goat hair, behind two camels, 5 black goats browsing, on tent skin a monkey, slender, bluish black, white patches under throat, inside legs, around arse, gnawing at warthog's trotter poking from sand, hot leather heating arse, steam of sweat bathing women's hunched body against baby's flank, hand holding bottle of white grease stocked with green grass balm, pearly spittle buzzing at corner of baby's lips, nomad walking, distant, shepherds holding reins of a hari, fist pressing into intestines, churning Charles with chisel, scales, claws, nomad's head swinging, turning towards you, cheeks holding